Yeah, I mean, I just want to say a word or two on that. I mean, I think you're right that one of the things that we make, if you like, a habit of calling for is that if you've got that sort of language, if you've got that, it's the duty of government, it's the duty of members of parliament, it's the duty of whoever to actually, you condemn that, you shut that down. This idea about, why do we have these people here is, well, look at your economy for a start. It's just, and it's also then down to this feeling that if you don't want those people here, then, why have we got South Africans anywhere else in the world then? Mm-hmm. That you do the reciprocal, that you don't let your people leave if you don't want others to arrive. It is the logic, and it's a stupid logic. Leads you nowhere. So you would be looking for that sort of condemnation, no two ways about it. And you're right that it encourages, if you don't get that, then effectively what you're tacitly doing is encouraging vigilantism. It is this thing about who then asks for your identity card. And I would have thought the issue about being asked for your identity card in South Africa would have been very, very sensitive for a hell of a lot of people. Absolutely. Who really thought those days would have been behind them. I would have thought. I mean, that's just my view on it. It's exactly the sort of thing in the sense that you're seeing here now, more and more people being required by government to check people's identity. Whether you're a landlord, you check their identity, you check their immigration status. And for me that's absolutely out of order. But there was also the question about sort of the European Union, and I was just looking through the Parliament resolution that I mentioned from this Thursday. And one of the things that it is saying, and this will be communicated to the government in Nigeria, will be asking for a thorough investigation of the allegations of human rights violations, including extrajudicial killings, torture, arbitrary arrest, and extortion-related abuses, and believes such actions cannot be justified as a means of combating the threat posed by Boko Haram or other terrorist organisations. And it also talks about reforms to Nigeria's judicial system, urgently needed in order to provide effective criminal justice to combat terrorism, as well as reform of the Nigerian state security forces. So that was in our Parliament, the European Parliament's resolution. I mean, what notice will be taken of it, I don't know. But that's there, and that's also what we're saying to our representatives, in Nigeria. These are some of the lines we want to be following.
Question to just follow. We're actually about rounding up. Are you gonna?
No, just a question.
Okay.
Follow up to, because I was actually, that's the key area I'm interested in. The level of involvement of the EU in the Nigerian good governance project. What level is the involvement of the EU? Because we're saying if there is good governance in most of these countries, some of these issues will not have the problem. Basically, I'm looking at we have diaspora organizations, and they're supposed that you give them to make sure that in the whole country they have good governance, they enforce good governance. Maybe they bring about good governance through different projects that you will support them to do. Like there's support like that, there are encouragements that comes in that way.
I'm not sure how much the EU works with diaspora organisations. I mean, it tends to be more sort of with the country itself and the organisations within the country. But it's an issue, that I can certainly ask about. But there's certainly quite a lot of project money going in. I haven't got the exact figure with me, which I should have dug out. But certainly, we've supported, as I said earlier, we've supported the Election Commission. We supported the anti-corruption body for a while, took that away for a bit. I think it may be back now, because you do actually want to feel that your money is having an effect. That's certainly done, there's a lot of work going on, I think, as well in terms of support on issues around education and livelihoods. But one of the things that I noticed, again, sort of from document I was reading from EU-Nigeria sort of talks last November, is that there's an increasing push as well on issues around sort of higher level education research, though that sort of work, and certainly sort of young, well, not necessarily young, students from Nigeria, taking advantage of there's an EU program called Erasmus Mundus, which actually allows them to do some of their study, their masters or whatever, within the European Union. So it's beginning to move beyond simply the development support into other levels. But there are a number of us in the Parliament that, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, that increasingly feel that we need a different sort of relationship with Nigeria sort of specifically as a country in its own right, because moving, particularly given, it's now the largest economy in Africa, that you can't keep it in the same sort of block as you would do some of the world's sort of least developed countries. That relationship, really has to change, I think. I think that would be, to the benefit of both sides. But I mean, I really would like to thank people for a lot of the points raised this afternoon. I think it's been really interesting to me. I don't know about to you, but I really enjoyed it. You've got a lot out of it. Thank you very much.
Okay, just before we, can I prompt Jean to give us election message? There's an election in the UK soon, and Jean being a member of the Green Party, though she's not contesting, but I'm sure she will have a word or two to say to us about the election, and those words we have to carry out to some of our friends and relatives.
Yeah, well, I wasn't doing this as a party election broadcast.
I know,
okay?
yeah.
I wasn't doing that. I've done it anyway. I think in terms of this, I mean, obviously the first thing is that people must exercise their right to vote. I mean, we know it's important in Nigeria, it's really important here, and I think in this election, more than many elections here for a while, you can see that your vote may well have a chance to influence the outcome of it. But secondly, in a number of the issues that we've been talking about, issues about sort of equality before the law, good governance, etc., that I think that certainly for the Greens, the issues about equality for us are extremely important. And that a lot of the tone of this election, in the way it's treated migrants, people who are seen as migrants but are probably British citizens, I think has been totally shocking, and that the Green Party is a party that's consistently stood up for the right of people, whatever right of equality, whatever people's descent, whatever people's immigration status. So that's really important to us. And for people who really care about good governance, people who really care about the way in which the country is run and that it works with people, then I would really urge you to consider, not just to consider voting for the Greens. Let's go further. I would actually urge you to actually vote for the Green Party in this election. It really can make a big difference. Thank you.
If it was